Hello friends. Today we are going to discuss an important psychological and educational concept, maladjustment. This topic helps us understand why some children or individuals struggle to fit into their environment, whether it's at home, school or society. Let's learn what it means, its causes, how we can detect it and how to help maladjusted individuals. So, our discussion include introduction, definition, cause of maladjustment, diagnosis of maladjustment, detection of maladjusted children and conclusion. Introduction. The word maladjustment means poor or unsatisfactory adjustment. When a person fails to adapt to life situations to their environment, they are said to be maladjusted. For example, a child who cannot adjust to a new school environment may become withdrawn or aggressive. So, maladjustment is about an individual's inability to cope effectively with everyday challenges. Definition of maladjustment. Simply, we can say that maladjustment is when a person cannot deal well with people, situations, or challenges in daily life. Let's take a simple example. If a student feels neglected or bullied at school, he may start avoiding classes or showing anger. That shows emotional and social maladjustment. Next, we can discuss about cause of maladjustment. The first one is physique and appearance. A child's physical characteristics like height, weight, body shape, their facial features, their skin conditions can affect how they feel about themselves and how others treat them. When a child believes their body makes them different in a negative way, they may withdraw, lose confidence, or act out. That emotional discomfort that comes from their physical difference can lead to maladjustment, difficulty in making friends, poor classroom participation, or anxiety. So, we should motivate such students in every way. A teacher and as a parent, we should always encourage them. Another one is poverty. Poverty affects adjustment through material shortages like books, nutritious food, clothing, etc. And also through stress at home, instability, and fewer opportunities. The stress of meeting basic needs makes concentration, emotional regulation, and consistent school attendance harder. These are all contributors of maladjustment. The next one is parental attitudes. Overprotective parents may stop children from trying new things, while highly critical parents can damage self esteem and provoke anxiety or rebellion. Inconsistent parenting, such as one day they love their children, next day they will show a harsh behavior to them. These factors produces confusion and insecurities. For example, a child whose parents always criticize mistakes may avoid attempting challenging tasks for fear of failure. So, a parent should be always a friend to each and every child. Next one is emotional shock. A child who faces death, accidents, floods, or riots can cause emotional trauma to them. Trauma can disrupt sleep, concentration, and behavior. If not processed, the shock can lead to withdrawal, aggression, regression, or anxiety. These are all symptoms of maladjustment. The next one is broken hope. Children from homes with constant fights, separation, or divorce often feel unloved or insecure. They may seek attention through negative behavior like aggression or withdrawal. The next factor is social factors. When a child's personal values doesn't match society's expectations, it can cause confusion and stress. Unemployment, poverty, or lack of opportunities may make youth feel frustrated or rebellious. Next, we can discuss about the school factors contributing to maladjustment. The first one is maladjusted teachers. A maladjusted teacher is one who struggles to manage their own emotions, attitudes, or behavior in classroom. Such teachers may be irritable, biased, impatient, or unable to understand students' needs. When a teacher cannot control their frustration or shows favoritism, students may feel insecure, fearful, or unmotivated, which leads to maladjustment. For example, if a teacher frequently scolds or mocks students for small mistakes, children may become anxious, avoid school, or lose confidence in learning. A teacher should be always supportive to the students. Next one is attitude of teachers. A teacher's attitude, whether supportive or critical, encouraging or disengaging, strongly shapes how students feel about themselves and the school environment. A teacher with a negative attitude, such as bias, prejudice, or indifference, can cause a child's interest in learning. For example, if a teacher assumes that slow learners can never improve, those students may internalize that belief and stop trying. Similarly, when teachers show favoritism towards high achievers, others feel neglected and may act out of disengage. Next one is inadequate curriculum. An inadequate curriculum is one that fails to meet students' physical, emotional, social, and intellectual needs. If lessons are too theoretical, outdated, or not connected to real life situations, students may lose interest and feel frustrated. For example, if the curriculum focuses only on memorization and exam results, creative or practical learners may feel left out. A student who loves drawing or technology may struggle if such talents are never recognized in the curriculum. Lack of co-curricular activities. Co-curricular activities such as sports, arts, clubs, debates or cultural events give students opportunities to develop confidence, leadership, teamwork and emotional balance. When these are missing, students have no healthy outlet for their energy and interest. This can lead to frustration, boredom or disciplinary issues. Next one is defective examination system. A defective examination system focuses only on rote memorization and marks, ignoring creativity, understanding, and personality development. Constant pressure to score high grades can cause stress, fear of failure, and unhealthy competition among students. These are the key causes of maladjustment. For example, a student who performs well in discussion but scores low in written test may feel useless because exam doesn't recognize their strengths. Overemphasis on marks can make students cheat, lose interest in learning, or even develop exam anxiety. So, all these school factors, from teachers' attitude to exam patterns, deeply affect how a student feels, behaves, and learns. So remember, a supportive environment can transform even a weak student, while a negative atmosphere can discourage even a bright one. Our duty as educator is to make school a place where every child feels valued, respected, and confident. Next, we can move to the topic diagnosis of maladjusted children. Before we look at the symptoms, just remember maladjustment means a child is unable to cope effectively with their environment, whether at home, school, or in social life. Diagnosis means identifying early warning signs that show a child is struggling emotionally or socially. We don't judge the child. Instead, we observe and understand the reason behind their behavior. The first one is physical symptoms. These are bodily signs that reflect emotional or psychological strain. When children face continuous stress, anxiety, or fear, their body often show it even before they speak about it. The key signs are stammering or stuttering, scratching their head, facial twitching, biting nails, uh, vomiting due to anxiety, etc. So, never scold or ignore these signs. Instead, gently talk to the child, observe patterns, and inform the school counselors or parents. Now we can discuss about behavioral symptoms. These are observable actions showing that the child is not adjusting well to school, peers, or home situations. Behavior is the easiest clue to notice for teachers. The uh, symptoms are aggression, bullying others, stealing, skipping school, wandering away, being absent frequently, withdrawal or isolation, sex related disturbances, etc. So, instead of labeling the child as naughty or lazy, try to find why they behave that way. Behavior is often communication. Next, we can talk about emotional symptoms. These are feelings and inner reactions that show the child is emotionally disturbed or insecure. These may not be easily visible, but teachers and parents can infer them through attitudes and mood swings or mood changes. The key signs are emotional instability, excessive worry, fear and inferiority complex, hatred, extreme shyness, temper tantrums, persistent anxiety, conflicts, and tension. So, show empathy to them. Give them small responsibility to build confidence. Talk privately and ensure emotional safety in the classroom. So now we can discuss about detection of maladjusted children. After we understand the symptoms of maladjustment, the next important step is detection. That means finding out which children are maladjusted and what type of problems they are facing. Detection is not about blaming the child, it's about understanding the difficulties early so that proper help or counseling can be given. The first one is observation and interview. Observation means carefully watching a child's behavior in natural settings like classroom, playground, or during group activities to notice any signs of maladjustment. It helps teachers see how the child behaves with friends, responds to rules, and handles emotions. Sometimes, what children cannot express through words, they show through actions. For example, a child who sits alone and avoid eye contact, and a student who frequently fights or argues, a child who never volunteers or answers questions, etc. So, a teacher can keep a simple observation diary, noting patterns in attendance, interaction, and emotional reactions. Consistency over days gives a clear picture than one time observation. And the interview method or the interview involves direct communication with the child, parents, and sometimes teachers or peers to understand the child's emotional and social condition. It helps reveal the child's thoughts, feelings, fears, and experience that cannot be seen through observation alone. So we can interview a child that helps child express feelings in friendly, non-judgmental way. Also, we can interview their parents, which gives background information about home environment, parental attitude, or recent emotional shocks. In the same way, we can interview the teachers also, which provides details about classroom, behavior, and peer relationship. So, using simple, uh, using simple, friendly languages, avoid judgmental questions like why are you so naughty. Instead, we can use open questions like what makes you upset in class. These all make a child motivated and make them more happy. The next one is uses of test. To understand a student's adjustment level, psychologists use certain standardized psychological tests. The three important tests are Bell Adjustment Inventory, Mooney Problem Checklist, and the Taylor Manifest Anxiety Scale. Bell Adjustment Test means to measure how well an individual adjusts in different areas of life, such as home, health, social, and emotional situations. So, the test contains a series of questions. Students respond with yes or no or true or false, depending on their personal experiences. Their answers are then scored to identify areas of maladjustment. The Mooney problem checklist helps students express the personal, social, and emotional problems they face. It's not exactly a test with right or wrong answers, it's a checklist. Students are given a long list of possible problems and they check the one that can apply to them. It helps counselors identify specific problem areas in a student's life. For example, if many students check items related to examination fear, the school can plan counseling or stress management sessions. The last one is Taylor Anxiety Scale. The purpose of this method is to measure the level of anxiety a person is consciously aware of. The Manifest Anxiety. It's a self-report questionnaire that with the statements related to anxiety, tension and worry. High anxiety level often interfere with learning, concentration and performance. By identifying anxious students early, teachers and counselors can provide relaxation training, counseling or other support system. So, these three tools are very useful for detecting maladjustment among students. This helps teachers, counselors, and psychologists understand where a student is struggling emotionally, socially, or academically so that proper guidance and counseling can be given. The goal of this test is not to label students but to help them adjust better and grow into healthy, confident individuals. So, finally, we can discuss about treatment of maladjusted children. Once a child is diagnosed as maladjusted, our main goal is to help them regain emotional balance, confidence, and positive adjustment in home, school, and society. Remember, maladjustment is not a permanent condition. With the right understanding, environment, and guidance, every child can improve. The first step is to understand the cause. Before any treatment begins, we must find why the child is maladjusted. Every behavior has a cause. It could be physical, emotional, family related, or social. Once we understand the cause, we can plan the right support, for example, counseling, extra attention, or a more friendly classroom atmosphere. The next step is educate parents. Many adjustment problems begin or worsen at home, so parental cooperation is essential in treatment. Parents must be guided on how to handle their child's emotions with patience and care. When parents and teachers work together, the child feels safe both at home and at school. This is the best foundation for readjustment. The next step is improve school atmosphere. A healthy, friendly and inclusive school atmosphere helps children feel accepted and valued. Many maladjusted children act out because they feel rejected or misunderstood at school. School should feel like a second home where mistakes are accepted and improvement is encouraged. The next step is adopt good mental health practices. Good mental health practices help children develop emotional stability and resilience. These practices can be simple daily habits that promote positive thinking, relaxation and confidence. Create a positive classroom atmosphere where children feel safe, respected and loved. A kind word or smile can sometimes be the best therapy. The next step is refer serious cases. Some maladjustment cases may be too serious for teachers or parents to handle alone, such as deep depression, trauma, suicidal thoughts, or serious behavioral disorder. In such cases, it is essential to refer the child to experts like school counselors, child psychologists, psychiatrists, or clinical social workers. Referring to a specialist is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of care and responsibility. Early interventions can prevent lifelong problems. The final step is use psychotherapy techniques. Psychotherapy means using psychological methods to help a child understand their feelings and change negative behaviors. These are usually done by trained counselors or psychologists. The common technique used are group therapy, which brings the children together with similar problems to share experiences and learn coping skills. Next one is play therapy. This is used for younger children. They express their feelings through toys, drawings, or stories. The final one is psychodrama, which means acting out feelings and situations to understand them. So now we can conclude our session. Maladjustment is the inability to adapt to one's surroundings or life situations. If left unaddressed, it leads to behavioral and emotional problems. Early detection, proper counseling, and support from parents and teachers can help children readjust successfully. Remember, every child can flourish if given understanding, love, and a positive environment. So, the presentation is prepared by Anupriya Vivi and Anjana PP from Physical Science Department of Crescent B.Ed College, Malaipara in the batch 2025-2027. Thank you.